So thanks ever so much, everybody. A real pleasure to be here today. I really hate it when people describe me as an authority, but let's see how we go. So a quick bit about me, always start with this. We'll a bit about Fujitsu first. We're an IT company. We're headquartered in Japan. We don't make cameras, but we do loads of tech stuff. And my job is looking at the entire portfolio, but as Connor said, just a few customers. So this is me then. You can read that. I'm quite proud of this. I'm in that book. Isn't that nice? So if you're wondering what ABM's all about, then I didn't write the book, but it's a really good book. It's practitioner focused. About 4 years ago, our sales director said, Andrea, this is for the UK business. What are we going to do differently? I said, right, okay, let me think about that. What did he mean? I was thinking, what are we going to do differently? So what did we currently do? So we had a massive team, 58 people, doing what you would expect a marketing team to do across the UK, the entire marketing mix. So sector marketing, horizontal marketing, running tons of campaigns, loads of lead gen, loads of events, loads of thought leadership, getting onto the social media thing. We thought it was all working very well. So when he said that to me, what are we going to do differently? I kind of had a think. And then, what does he mean? Is it that we're not bringing enough value? Is it that we're not aligning with sales as well as we could? Is it that my budget's going to be cut? Which is not so it was kind of winter time. I was racking my brains on this, and I had a really nasty cold. So I probably had a bit too much Benylin, to be fair. And I was doing a bit of reading, and I'm like, got it. I said, right, we're going to do ABM. So I thought, what we'll do, we've got 58 people in the UK marketing team. We'll give every single one of them an account to do ABM on. So they will all become ABMers. And they'll love it. And I put in place 2-day training courses for everybody, run by ITSMA in conjunction with us. We put how-to guides in place. We put portals in place, put all this stuff in place. And miraculously, the business agreed to it. And then lots of people said to me subsequently, how did you get them to do that? And I said, I've absolutely no idea. I think I just talked them to death, probably. But one of the big killer things was I looked at the activity that we were doing at the time, and there was a lot of lead gen in there, absolutely loads of lead gen. I don't know if any of you are in the marketing world, you probably are. Hands up, actually. Who's in marketing? Yeah, great. So if you do a bit of value analysis on the lead gen that you do, and I'm sure you're much better at this than we were back in the day, if we look at how we go through the pipe and the funnel, we were spending as much as we were making on deals. So actually, it's a waste of time, isn't it? So I turned off all of the lead gen, just turned it off. Didn't tell anyone I was going to do it, I just turned it off. And no one noticed. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it? So actually, they did notice after about 6 months, but it took a long time. So I mean, 2014, I'm ramping up. It was brilliant. We had a real buzz going, really, really good. So everyone had an account. So the PR guy had an account, the data guy had an account. Actually, it's mostly girls, but that's beside the side. And the business loved it. They absolutely loved it, and they wanted more, and they wanted to keep swapping the ABM accounts. I'm like, that's not how it works, so we had to do quite an education piece with our internal stakeholders so they knew what we were talking about. So that was working really well. And then the following year, because it was working so well, at a mayor level, remember this is UK and at a mayor level, Europe, Middle East, India and Africa, there was a new program put in place to address those customers we care about enough. It's called Top 100. There's 7 accounts in it. Don't ask me, I didn't name it. So we're focusing on these 7 accounts, and we put in place a whole account development workshop thing and tons of stuff, and ABM was automatically part of it. The business said to me, can you do ABM on these accounts? Which is great, right? So suddenly I had some budget as well. And then they said, well, actually, and the business said, well, actually, if we're going to do this properly, we probably kind of need a team. So I got a team of dedicated people, which is great. At the same time, we ramped down what we were doing in the UK. With 58 accounts, 1 per person, is actually quite a lot of work. So if you don't have an ABM program yet and you're thinking of doing it, don't do it like that. Just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. So what have we done differently? We've turned ourselves from a supporting role to a strategic, proactive function that collaborates very well with sales. And this is my definition of ABM. You would have seen loads of definitions, I'm sure. Treating a customer as a market of one is a really common one. There's loads out there. This is mine. You can steal this, that's fine. So what we're saying here is sales and marketing working really closely together. That is the core principle of making this work. It's strategic. That means we don't swap accounts in and out. So what I do is I have, using a football analogy, I have that window when you can swap people. What's it called? Can't remember. Thank you very much, transfer window. And I do that once a year. And we'll only swap 5 or 6, and that's it. And the reason for doing that is ABM is all about the insight. So do that piece correct first, then everything else works. So you don't want to spend 2 months doing insight and then have to do it again because someone's changed the account. Anyway, okay. So then it's about doing stuff that's relevant, really, really important. And then open doors and deepen engagement. Now, if you're wondering about what type of ABM I'm really clear on this. You know, we all know this, right? There's 3 types of ABM. If you think of that classic triangle thing. There's strategic ABM, where it's one-to-one. And there's very high investment, but really good ROI on that. There's ABM light or cluster or whatever you want to call it, but that thing in the middle where it's one-to-few accounts. And then there's the programmatic stuff where it's MarTech fueled. So I do this stuff at the top. I don't do the other stuff, I don't touch it. I might start to do a bit of ABM light as we start to get MarTech involved in our organisation, because currently we don't have any. So I've done all of this with spreadsheets and Salesforce.com. So you don't need to invest tons and tons of money in MarTech. But we're going to do that this year, and hopefully Passle will be on our MarTech stack, which will be very nice. So why do we bother doing this? You might know this, if I'm teaching you how to suck eggs, then shut me up. But I think as professional marketeers, we know that the market is changing, and especially in the B2B environment, the way that customers are buying have absolutely changed. So you can read the stats there, right? So the important thing is, if customers aren't outreaching to a supplier until this far through this journey, then we've got to do stuff here. And I call this shifting left. So the role that we play is to shift left through that buying journey so that we're adding value at that point. Actually, there's loads of models on this, and what it enables you to do is to shorten the sales cycle. You can fail quickly. There's loads and loads of upsides on it, and there's studies that say the further left you shift, the higher the win rate. I don't go into that here, but you can buy those from Gartner or whatever, I'm sure. Also, the marketing metrics stack up. So this is an ITSMA quote. So 87% of companies that they surveyed say that ABM delivers a higher ROI than for other types of marketing. And it delivers year-on-year revenue growth, and there's some nice growth rates there as well. So the growth that we've seen on my ABM program is primarily around influenced pipeline, because that's one of the things that I measure, and win rate. And our win rate has gone up to about 1 in 2, which I think you would agree is pretty good. And the win rate on accounts that we don't do ABM on is quite a different number to replace the 2. So it works, okay.